All right, Quarantine 2020, episode 13, Celebrity Pranks, part 2. I didn't have time to get all of it finished yesterday, so I'm going with the top 4 right now. Celebrity Pranks, irrefutable, guaranteed by me to be the top 4 in the world ever. Prove me wrong. Here we go. Here is number 5. Leonardo DiCaprio is doing a Leo thing, walking down the street drinking some kind of fruit drink of some kind, and he sees Jonah Hill. And he runs up to Jonah Hill with his phone out and pretends like he's a photog or pretends like he's a fan, and Jonah Hill just panics. Absolutely hilarious. I love these stories when these actors work together and then they run into each other in public and have this much fun. So let's take a look.
Minding his own business on the sidewalk when Leo came running toward him like a crazed fan and appeared to scare the daylights out of the 32-year-old actor. The Oscar winner seemed to...
Okay. That's fantastic. I love it. See, like, with somebody like Leonardo DiCaprio, you know, he'd be funny all the time, I think. Of course, that's an assumption that I'm making and have absolutely no basis to make it. But I really think Leo would be fun. Jonah Hill would be fun to hang out with. Again, that was number 5, all-time, irrefutable celebrity pranks. Number 4. Okay, and somebody was telling me that this one wasn't true, but I haven't been able to find anything that doesn't say it's true. Ryan Reynolds gets invited to a Christmas party by Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal, and they tell him that it's an ugly sweater. It's an ugly sweater party, so he shows up in an ugly sweater, and everybody else is dressed nice. And I just think that's the ultimate prank: is making somebody dress up when there isn't anything. I'd love somebody to do that prank to me. I think it would be hilarious. So let's take a look at that one real quick.
So Ryan Reynolds Instagrammed these photos. He said the guys told him it was an ugly Christmas sweater party, so he came dressed in one.
The photos are probably a little bit staged, I think, but it's still really funny. I'd still love that one. Krista doesn't think that one was as funny, I don't think, but I thought that one was absolutely hilarious. Maybe a little bit too high for number 4, but let's take number 3. Number 3, I almost could have put it at 1. Ellen DeGeneres scares people on her show, and I don't think there's anything funnier than scaring somebody. I do it to the girls around the house all the time. I'd like to get video, but they would just get mad at me and I wouldn't be able to use it anyway. But scaring people it's so simple, and well, when you're as stealthy as I am, it's so simple and it's so funny. Ellen scares people all the time, but the time she scared Taylor Swift, I think is a singer. I think she's in a band too. At some point, maybe she's not now, but at some point she was in the Ed Sheeran and Friends band too. But anyway, she's coming on the show. Ellen tells her, or the people in her dressing room tell her, go into the bathroom. Ellen put a picture up of the two of you she wants you to see. And when she goes in there, Ellen's in there and scares the shit out of her. It's absolutely fantastic. So here we go. It doesn't matter how many times I watch it, I laugh every single time. That's why I think it should be number 1. I could watch that anytime and I'll still laugh. It's so funny. Like Ellen's reaction to it where she falls down and Taylor Swift falling down. It's just fantastic. Okay, top 2. Here we go, number 2. And this one is an ongoing prank war. And if you Google all of these pranks, they are absolutely hilarious. This is my number 2. It is George Clooney pranking Brad Pitt. And he, in this prank, and again, this one might have been better to put at 1, but in this prank, he takes to get stationery made of saying from Brad Pitt, and then he sends things to different actors around the world and says things and they all think it's from Brad Pitt, but it's really George Clooney. So I have a quick 10-15 second clip right here, and let's take a look.
For a while, and then it was I had stationery made up with his name, and then I would send letters to other actors from Brad Pitt. I sent Meryl Streep a letter from Brad where I got a big thing of CDs that had, it was a dialect coach. And he had like every dialect, you know, Gaelic, Yiddish, every dialect you find, and it's a huge thing. And I sent it to her with a note from Brad that said, you know, I hear you're going to be doing the Iron Lady soon. This guy helped me with my dialect in Troy or something.
That would be the ultimate. Just make someone look like a complete moron because they're condescending towards other actors. It would be fantastic. Okay, so I'm running out of time. I don't want this to be 2 hours long, but I have a few honorable mentions that I have to go through. Number one is anytime Ellen scares anybody, it's never not funny. It's unbelievable every single time. So that was an honorable mention. The other honorable mention, and the reason I didn't put it in the top 10 is because I don't think it was actually a celebrity that did it. But somebody, if you've seen Tiger King, and I apologize if there's a spoiler in this. If you haven't seen it all yet, and you don't want the tiniest of spoilers, fast forward a few seconds. But somebody was on a TripAdvisor and makes a post at Carol Baskin's for her Big Cat Rescue Zoo, whatever it is, and pretends to be Carol Baskin's first husband or second husband, not the current husband she's with, and just trashes the place for how terrible it is because he got killed. That's just next level. That is, I wish I was that clever to come up with something that funny. I don't have a picture of it, but you take a look at it and Google it. If you can find it, it's worth it. I think it was on Instagram, stuff like that. And the last honorable mention I have no video of this. This is simply a story. I have a high school student that I teach right now, and my friend Dave Hamilton, who is at Virtual Ham on Instagram, and similar on Twitter, Virtual Ham Me, or maybe it's the other way around. Either way, technically he's a celebrity. I don't like to ever admit that he's good at anything, but technically he'd be a celebrity. I think he has enough Twitter followers, second highest amount of Twitter followers at the high school I teach at. So he's kind of a celebrity, but he got pranked, and it's one of the most beautiful stories I've ever heard. He stopped at Tim Hortons one morning, and this student happened to be working at Tim's, and he orders a donut and a coffee, and I think he takes 4 sugars or something in his coffee. So he orders a bunch of sugar, donut, coffee with sugar in it, and when he gets to the window, he sees this high school student, and the high school student says, "Hey, Mr. Hamilton, no worries. It's on me. It's free." And he's like, "Oh, man, thanks so much. That's great." And he's thinking to himself, "What a great kid this kid is." And the student's actually super funny because as Virtual Ham drives away from Tim Hortons, I guess he pulled over because he wouldn't have been driving and eating, but he pulls over, pulls out his donut, and it's a bran muffin. That's one of the best burns ever. There's no way I'd be upset about that if a student did that to me. That's absolutely fantastic. So that was the last honorable mention. I'm going to go on to number 1. The video on this one isn't as good, and I don't think the story is told as well as number 2. But any of the top 3, I really feel like maybe top 4 could have been in the top 1 spot. But this one is the one that I picked as number 1, irrefutable, the best one. And it is Brad Pitt, again, in their prank war with George Clooney. And Brad Pitt, well, I'll let you watch the video first, and then I'll talk about it after.
Second time, and it was with the crew in Italy. And I set up, before we got there, I put out a memo that said, in Italian, "George is a very serious actor, and just ask that you respect his privacy. Please don't look him in the eye on set. Please don't speak to him, and let's all have a wonderful shoot." Now, George is just like the worst, because he's like the mayor. He wants everyone to be happy, he's taking care of everyone, he's telling jokes, everyone's getting along. So, yeah, he lost his mind a little bit. He went into his second week. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's fantastic. Again, that prank war has got to go down in history as the best one. To do that to somebody who likes talking to everybody, and actors are often mistaken as prima donnas lots of times anyway. So to send that out and make everybody think that you are, that's just spectacular. It's awesome. Thank you for joining me, Quarantine 2020. And today's episode was in honor of April Fool's Day from yesterday, was top 10 celebrity pranks. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow.